Disneyland changes to entertainment starting as early as next week and into the summer. Walt Disney World has announced an opening date for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you can now get a discount at select Orlando resorts this summer, and some of the challenges that you may face when visiting the Disneyland Resort right now. All of that and the latest Disney Parks news and discussion. Kingdom Report Live starts right after the countdown.
Come to this happy place. Welcome.
Kicking things off with a live look outside at the Disneyland Resort across Cars Land. Oh my gosh, the canyons looking great today on a beautiful Saturday, springtime in Southern California. Hello everybody, wait for the Kingdom Report back with you once again. It is time for an all-new Kingdom Report Live. So grateful you could be a part of the big show. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Thumbs up button, thumbs up button, thumbs up button. It means an awful lot to us. Hit that thumbs up button. Whether you're watching on Facebook Live or our YouTube channel over at the Kingdom Report on YouTube, boy, it means an awful lot that you can be a part of the broadcast, whether live or on demand. We understand many of you, in fact, most of you watch on demand, so that means a heck of a lot to us as well. So we want to say a special thank you to all of our on-demand watchers, in addition to all of our live watchers. Means a lot. And we want to thank you also for not only watching live and on demand, but also watching in general. You deserve a gift. How do we reward you? Well, you can get yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug by leaving a phrase that pays underneath this very video. As soon as the live video is over on our YouTube channel, you're able to leave comments underneath the video. This week's phrase that pays, code word living with the land. Living with the land is the phrase that pays this week. Leave that underneath this video after the live video is all complete, and you will be selected as a potential winner to get yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug. We will reach out to you after Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. This show happens live on Saturdays, so you have just about 2 days to get your Living with the Land code word listed in the comment section underneath this video. And again, if you are the winner, we will reach out to you and say, hey, you're the big winner. What color do you want? And where can we send it? Because you deserve to be rewarded. All right, let's check in with the team who's with us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, theme park analyst Tyler Crouch and the lovely travel agent Katrina Manzone. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Happy
Hello.
Saturday.
It's the happiest.
Oh, the happiest.
The weather went down like 10 degrees since last week, so it's great. It's like mid-80s right now.
It has
We've been having a very, very bad heat wave. It's been
scorching
like 98
summer
in April.
Yeah.
It's
Summer,
terrible.
springtime.
I'm not ready.
I like the
worst.
cold. I'm a cold boy.
I appreciate an igloo.
Yeah. If I was living in an
strong
igloo, I'd be happy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm not living in an igloo.
It's up to me to make sure that my office is as cold as possible at all times.
Yep.
And therefore, I even bought myself a standalone air conditioner
Because
the routine air that I have just not cold enough. So I get myself my own standalone, and I crank that baby down to 59 degrees.
Man
Not
after my
even.
own heart.
Yeah.
We actually do the same thing in our bedroom some summers. Like, we have a standalone one that we just put for our bedroom only. But we,
I guess toasty.
probably
over
going to
here
have to
in
break that one out
California.
soon.
I will be a polar bear.
Yes.
Yes.
I
that
could
is my
see you
life.
in this, like, I don't know, what is it, like a Sherpa or whatever, like a full on like a fur hood and little UGG boots.
It's a lot comfortable than sweating.
And then you're like, oh man, and then you walk outside and you're like drenched in sweat. You're like, oh god, what have I done?
It's been pretty tough lately. You're absolutely right. But we are fortunate now that things continue to decline. So if you're coming on out to Disneyland at any point in the near future, it's going to be picture perfect springtime weather, apparently. So we're looking forward to that. And speaking of Disney parks, let's not waste any time. I think it's time to jump into some Disney news review. Disney News Review time, taking a look at some of our favorite stories from the last week. Are you looking forward to some news stories? I know that I am. Some of the biggest news stories of this week coming out of Walt Disney World first. Epcot has announced the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind attraction opening date. That's right. Comicbook.com writes that the very first Marvel-themed ride is arriving in Walt Disney World in less than 2 months. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, based on the films from Marvel Studios, is finally opening its doors in Epcot on May the 27th, taking guests on a journey through the galaxy with Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, Drax, and Gamora. This week, as the debut of the ride inches closer, Disney has unveiled some information about its height requirements as well, saying on this past Wednesday that the height requirement for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will be 42 inches. While plenty of kids will still be able to ride Cosmic Rewind, the height requirement is one of the tallest in Walt Disney World, confirming that it is more of a thrill ride, which I think we all knew it was going to be a thrill ride, didn't we? I think we all knew that was coming.
Figured that one out.
Shocking to me.
Yeah, I
What?
had a feeling that
Thought it was a
going
boat
to be
ride.
thrill. Yeah. All right. I thought it was going to be a very placid boat ride. And, it was
In
just gonna be
space.
a nice breeze through space. That's all it was
That'd
going
be kind
to
of fun, actually. Now I want a boat ride. Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's go.
Through space.
Yeah.
I guess a
that's
Peter Pan type ride.
I like
That'd
that.
be nice.
Yeah. Well, Katrina, tell me, what are your hopes for this new coaster coming to Epcot? Obviously, it's going to add some capacity to things and change the shape of future world as we once knew it. What do you think?
I'm hoping that because of this new ride, I mean, everybody wants to ride it, is going to kind of like reduce all the other wait times around Epcot. Because like right now, like the hit ones are Ratatouille and Frozen usually are like the big ones. So, and Soarin', I guess. But I'm hoping that with this new ride, it kind of like evens it out. Like I don't want them to add more people in, but I want them to kind of just disperse evenly. So it's nicer.
It's a giant facility, this, Cosmic Rewind building. Not only is the former Universe of Energy building, which was dedicated to the entire attraction originally, the Universe of Energy, that entire building is now just the show building for the entry, apparently, of this ride. And then there's, of course, the gigantic building they built out back for the rest of the coaster.
Okay.
So perhaps this will gobble up a ton
I
of
hope
people.
it eats,
Yeah.
and like it's right kind of like when you enter the park, you have like 3 ways to go, and everybody's gonna go to the left to go to that ride. So hopefully just gobbles up everybody as soon as they get into the park.
I want that too.
And then
Yeah.
I can just have fun at World Showcase by myself.
Gobble, gobble.
Yes.
Yeah, eat them up, hungry hippo style. Yeah, bring all those people in. Well, and that was something that we had asked our Kingdom Report audience about. Was this something that you were truly excited over? And our specific question was, with the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind coaster now opening on May 27th at Epcot, which we now know to be official, are you more enticed to plan a Disney World vacation? Here are the poll results. Kind of surprising, I think. 14% of you said yes, I can't wait to ride. 49% of you said no, I'll ride it whenever I next visit. And then 37% of you said you have no interest in this new
Wow.
coaster opening. Tyler, any surprises to you there? I mean, it's certainly something where I thought this was going to be a magnetic pull into Epcot, and I thought a lot of people were waiting for this to open up to plan a trip because it was a big coaster at Epcot that everybody had been looking forward to.
I guess it is a little surprising, but for me, I get maybe it's like the same thing with like Velocicoaster over at Universal Orlando, where people think it's going to be such a thrill ride that maybe it's not for them automatically. I'm even seeing somebody in the chat being like, saying they're worried about getting nauseous with the backward motion. And, I could definitely see that being a real concern. I think it's going to spin quite a bit as well. So it may not be all to do with the property. It may also be to do with what type of ride it is. But I think it is surprising that I would expect that more people would be interested in it, even from a standpoint of like, what's it going to be like? Because a lot of the things we've seen so far in the kind of promotional things that you were talking about earlier actually look pretty cool. So I'm stoked to ride it. I have been one in the past that I'm not really a big fan of launch coasters, but I feel like I'm getting over that a little bit. Like as my age goes on, I'm getting better and better at riding these things. So I'm excited for it. It sounds crazy, but I guess it can't be that crazy if it's a backwards launch, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to break people's necks on this thing. So
They give you a neck brace really quick. They're like, here, we need to put this on the ride.
yeah. Well, usually these launch coasters are so worried about like, keep your head on the backrest. Like don't look to the left. Don't look straight ahead and keep your back against the rest. And it can't be that insane if they're gonna let you do it backwards. So
Making me nervous. I don't know if
I'm
he's gonna ride it
I'm
first
kind of
and tell
nervous
me if
about
I
it,
could
but
do it because I don't think I can.
she's probably not gonna ever go on it. Honestly.
Perhaps
but-
and
it'll
I
be a
have to do it on like
sleeper
an
hit.
empty stomach. Like I would be the one going into Epcot being like, all right, let's just get this over with because I'm going to eat after this. But it's going to take me a couple hours to eat after that ride, I'm sure. But I don't want to eat and then go on the ride because that would be bad.
Start with it early in the morning. There you go.
I think so.
First thing. Yeah. What a rush. What a rush to start with. Moving along here, Walt Disney World earlier this week also announced a little something when it comes to plans for new affordable housing that will be brought into the Central Florida area near Walt Disney World. Click Orlando reports that Walt Disney World's planning to bring over 1,300 units to Central Florida with a new affordable housing development near its theme parks. The 80-acre development is being planned in southwest Orange County, the company said this past Wednesday in a news release, saying, quote, "This initiative has been in the works for quite some time and builds on the Walt Disney Company's long legacy of bringing positive, lasting change to the communities it calls home, making an important difference locally to address one of the nation's greatest challenges," Disney said in the release. Bringing affordable housing to Central Florida, especially in a real estate boom right now. Florida is being inundated with people moving to it, and as I understand it, there's a line going out of the state of people trying to find places to live in Florida because they've basically run out at this point. And when it comes to affordable housing, there is no specifics when they mention exactly how affordable is affordable. There is no price tag yet. I can imagine something like this probably being close to $2,000 a month, which, is that really affordable or not? But that's just me speculating. Who knows? Tyler, Disney obviously drumming up a little bit of goodwill with a plan like this. What do you make of the timing of the announcement?
I mean, it's tough to say. I just feel like they've been for so long well known for the people who are like, the company is expensive. Like anything you want to do there is very expensive. They are not known for being cheap in any way. And not only are they trying to drum up goodwill, like you said, but I also just feel that they're trying to, how can I say it? Like, they're trying to come off like they're helping people. Like they really want to make it seem like, oh, we care about everybody. When, to be honest with you, it's like when they have people living close to them, and it's going to be a lot of cast members, I think, is really what their goal is. I think not only is Disney now all the money that they're paying their cast members for paychecks is going directly back into their pocket. And these people also are going to be living close to the theme parks, so they hope that it's just going to drum up their business overall. But as you were saying, I think, $2,000 is probably a pretty decent, guess, and that's not going to be that affordable for a lot of the people. I think that they're going to want to come in there, but it's very interesting they're doing this. If the price is actually going to be right, I would hope that they would build more places like this, or not even just by Florida, but time will tell. I'm very curious to see how this goes.
And it's been in the works for a very long time, they say. I'm sure it has nothing to do with all the current PR nightmare, and I think it's interesting that they're now investing more in Florida all of a sudden in a time where there is just crisis left and right in that state for them. So fascinating.
Is this like a tax write-off for them for doing something like this, and that's why they're doing it, like, especially with the PR nightmare that they're going through right now? So they're just trying to like make them do
push
like,
that goodwill.
Could be.
But I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have actually been planning housing for a long time, but then with everything they've been going through, they were like, okay, let's tone it down a bit, because Golden Oaks and everything, you got to be a millionaire to live there, like a millionaire, like it's not cheap at all. And I just think that they were if they could have their cake and eat it too, they probably would have built more houses for millionaires. But they got to come off as a company for the people.
That's right.
That's
the
what
commoner.
Yeah, exactly.
$2,000 a month. Good luck to you. Yes.
For a studio.
Again, speculation. We have no idea what the real price will be, but market here, I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see. That is if I'm tuning into it, I think that's what it might start out at, but we'll see. Moving along here, Yahoo News is reporting that Disney Plus may just offer, well, not may, but it will be offering subscribers a discount. Walt Disney World is giving Disney Plus users up to 25% off its hotels over the summer. The first time the resort has offered the perk to subscribers, the company announced earlier this week. Disney Plus subscribers can book discounted rooms at Walt Disney World Resort hotels on most nights from July 8th through September 30th. Travelers can save on bookings at favorites like the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Contemporary Resort, Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, as well as save 20% off rooms across the collection, including the family suites over at Art of Animation. Disney Plus, this is a quote, is known for bringing hours of entertainment to your homes, and with our Disney Resorts collection, you can immerse yourself in some of your favorite Disney tales, a Disney spokesperson said in a statement. So knowing that there is this subscriber discount now, it seems to also come at a very interesting time where it sounds like people are purging Disney Plus by the tens of thousands potentially as frustration grows around the company and all of their continued PR nightmare. Disney Plus seems to be getting a brunt of cancellations. At least that is what we are continuing to hear reported. Katrina, your assessment of Disney Plus now pushing a Walt Disney World discount, and of course during the summer months where it's typically busy, right?
It's busy. Yeah.
Busy.
I mean, listen, I think it's great for people who already have it. Like we're ones that have it, as like we have Disney Plus. I think it's great. I mean, I was able to save a group of people like a couple $100 switching their reservation over for the summer.
Yeah.
Worked for them, But also, it's a ploy, right? It's ploy what they're doing to get people to subscribe, and you have to keep Disney Plus until your trip. So pretty much, like if you check in and they verify again, and you don't have Disney Plus, they'll charge you current rate for your room. So you kind of have to keep Disney Plus until your trip. So if it's until September 30th, you're going to have to keep it for all those months and pay for it. And then they're doing this because obviously they can't really do annual passes right now, like an annual pass discount, because they don't offer annual passes just for like Florida residents. So they kind of have to do something to boost sales. And also, I'm going to say it.
Say it. Preach.
Commercials are coming, people.
Oh.
I am so mad. So anyway, but commercials are coming. They just announced that Dancing with the Stars is going to be live on Disney Plus, not on ABC anymore, which means they got to get the cash.
Yep.
So commercials are coming in the next season, which is like September. Oh my God, guess what? It ends September 30th for your deal. So you kind of have to keep it until you travel. And then after that, I think everybody's going to purge it again or you have to upgrade to get no commercials. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just kind of like a tricky ploy to keep people and boost the sales of Disney Plus. And then they're going to put in commercials starting like probably September. Don't quote me on this, but if it happens in September, you can quote me. But then you like have to keep it and like,
so you foresee,
I don't know. It just makes me really mad.
You foresee the commercials coming in, with that announcement. You're absolutely right of Dancing with the Stars moving on over to Disney Plus. number one, I don't know what they're doing to poor ABC, because that is one of their last few shows that is
gutting
a
it.
juggernaut. So as far as ratings go, moving all that on over to Disney Plus, whoa. And then, yeah, you lose out on tons of ad revenue by not having ads. So they're not going to do that.
Coming. We all knew it was coming. We all talked about it here on the show like a long time ago. It was too good to be true to have like Disney Plus for, like $20 a month with no commercials. We're like, this is unheard of. Like, this is weird. And commercials were coming, but now how much is the price tag going to be? Like, are they going to raise the rates for Disney Plus soon? Like in the next coming months, and then you have to upgrade again to get no commercials?
It'll probably be like a premium,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when like Netflix raised their rates like a couple months ago, a lot of people stopped doing it and canceled it. Like you canceled your subscription to be on my Netflix subscription because they raised the rates too much. So, I mean, soon enough, like they're going to have people like, bumming off each other's Disney Plus accounts, and are they going to try to keep it based off of your area and be like, oh, you're out of that certain area code. You have to go back to your original like billing address or something to be able to like submit it again. Cause that's what my mom did, like a Hulu thing with like live TV, but she's in Oregon. I'm down here. And so within like 2 months, they're like, you're cut off. You cannot do live TV or anything like that.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, my mom's like, I'll switch it. So she switched it back to like normal. But anyway, but I feel like Disney's going to be like that type of thing.
September, she says.
September.
Hold her to it.
September 1st.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Let us know if you're going to take advantage of the discount if you happen to be a part of Disney Plus and you plan on using it for summer at Walt Disney World. Moving along to the West Coast, Disneyland Resort. Something new that Disneyland is introducing starting next week, as a matter of fact. A new nighttime show over at It's a Small World. The Press Telegram reports that based on the Oscar-winning Encanto animated film and set to the chart-topping We Don't Talk About Bruno song is coming to Disneyland, and it marks the latest attempt by Disney to ride the wave of the blockbuster hit that has already been dubbed a franchise. A visual montage set to We Don't Talk About Bruno will play on the facade of It's a Small World several times nightly for a limited time, starting on Monday, April the 11th at the Anaheim theme park. The Small World facade will be transformed into a canvas with select moments from the film projected on to the exterior of the attraction as the full original song plays. Tiles across It's a Small World facade will flip, turn, and rearrange with the help of projection imagery and lighting effects. The brief show culminates with a celebratory chorus and a nod to Bruno's mysterious prophecy about Mirabelle. And Tyler, Disneyland has experimented with various types of projection shows over the years at Small World. What would you want their next show after Encanto to revolve around? What sort of IP do you think might be fun to blast up on It's a Small World?
Oh man, I don't know about IP, but I was thinking about it, and I think that I know they already do this. They've already done this before, but I kind of want there to be like an updated Halloween show.
Oh,
I think it'd be really cool, and I know they would never do this, but I think it would be really cool. This is kind of going off the question a little bit, but I want them to do a Halloween overlay for Small World, where they you get to visit how everybody celebrates Halloween around the world. I think that'd be really awesome.
That would be neat.
And they do the Christmas show on the facade to kind of get you ready for the Christmas feeling when you're riding the ride. And I just think it would be really cool if they also did that with Halloween. I know they already have some Halloween projections they do sometimes, but I want there to be an updated Halloween show with some little overlay business going on inside. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Strange to me that this sort of projection show just came out of nowhere. I mean, they just decided to go ahead and do it. It's a nice little perk offering back there.
I mean, because it's a very popular song, they kind of have to do it.
I think nobody at Disney ever realized that We Don't Talk About Bruno would be a hit. They didn't talk about Bruno enough, and now they're like, we gotta figure out something to put this in the parks. We gotta kill it just like we killed Let It Go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
Bye, Frozen show. It's going to be an Encanto show over at DCA. There's going to be an Encanto kind of type nightlife that they're going to have, like they had Frozen, and they're going to beat it to death. And it's just such a beautiful movie, and they need to keep it that way and preserve how beautiful that movie is and not beat it to death like they did Let It Go.
I feel like you both are on the right track here when you talk about how this does feel like a knee-jerk response like they had with Frozen so many years ago. They didn't know Frozen was going to be this massive smash success, and now respond, shove it in the park any which way you can, shoehorn this in, get it in there. Hopefully they don't beat it to death. You're right, like they did with Frozen. So
Makes me nervous.
yeah,
They
it is
should have done
beautiful.
Surface Pressure. That's like a way better song, honestly. I cry every time I listen to it. I'm like,
Well,
it's so real. It's so true.
The charts disagree with you. You know, that's why
The charts are wrong.
well, you know, that's the people. The people have spoken. They want affordable housing, and we don't talk about Bruno.
How dare you? Okay, this is the next poll. We don't talk about Bruno or Surface Pressure.
We're gonna put that up at the YouTube community page at the Kingdom Report, so you need to check that out. Per Katrina.
Do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Disneyland Apps Magic is reporting that the Disneyland Resort All-American College Band is returning for the 2022 summer season. This comes after the band has been on hiatus for 2 years due to the impact of the pandemic. The announcement was made on Yamaha Music USA and the Disneyland Resort All-American College Band this past week in a post on social media where they said the following: "We are thrilled to announce the return of the Disneyland All-American College Band presented by Yamaha. The band will once again welcome some of the top student musicians from across the country, joining an already exciting summer of entertainment at the Disneyland Resort. This year's band has already been cast, and we can't wait for them to arrive. See you this summer." End quote. Katrina, describe the All-American College Band, if you will, to people, and what do you think of this seasonal entertainment offering at Disneyland?
I think it's great. It's like a high energy marching band, you know, that's what it is. And I think it's just seeing all those beautiful, youthful faces just being happy and being able to get picked to come out and do this every day for the summer. And they just, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's great. Like they do cool dance moves and they always get like the crowd involved. And that's what we love about it. Tyler and I always have to go see it. Like that's his favorite thing to do. When the college band is announced, he's like, we got to go see it. And it's just always fun to see like the little kids' bright faces, just seeing like the marching band come out and they're just like chanting and like high energy and everybody. I've never seen so many people love to just watch a marching band. You know, usually they have like the Disneyland band and you know, people stand and watch it and stuff, but this is like dedicated people who love watching the college band come out.
I completely agree. I feel like it's one of those few shows that it draws such a crowd. There's a lot of atmosphere entertainment between Disneyland and California Adventure, and the standard atmosphere entertainment, does it draw a crowd? Yes, but is it minimal? Whereas the All-American College Band has like groupies of guests.
Oh yeah,
they
100%.
follow them from set to set. You know, they are just hounded by annual pass holders, especially. They adore these kids. They love this band, and I have to admit too, you know, the All-American College Band being as high energy as they have been, I'm so glad that they ended up inspiring the Disneyland band to kick it up a notch, because many years ago there was kind of a recasting of the Disneyland band out of nowhere, mainly because the All-American College Band outshined them every time they'd show up during the summer. It became... I almost got disappointed when I'd see the Disneyland band show up over the All-American College Band at, say, the flag retreat ceremony. Because All-American College Band I knew would bring it, whereas Disneyland band I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, here we go. But they kicked it up a notch, and now the Disneyland band is showing similar notes of the All-American College Band, so now it's a little bit more of a level playing field.
Competition. That's what it's all about, right? Because I remember like years ago, like I would watch it, and it wasn't just seeing the normal band, it was just kind of like, you know, subdued.
Right.
It was like a marching band, you know. It wasn't like anything great, but this was just like awesome, you know, to see it. I want to say it's like, what is the movie, like Drumline or whatever? What is a with
Drumline.
the
Is a movie,
cannon?
yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, you know. It's like high energy stuff, and they do like a lot of great things, and I adore it.
And their college kids having the time of their life in an experience they'll never forget. I've always thought it would be amazing to have, they'll never do it for the sake of college kids being college kids, I think, but I always thought it would be amazing to have the summer of an All-American College program filmed and have it real world style. And put on something like a Disney Plus.
Some MTV thing.
Them in their dorms, you know, learning and training together.
All right, Disney Plus, here you go.
Could you imagine what that would be like? But Yeah, a little risque, I bet.
From when I was working at Disneyland, I feel like it would be a lot of them sitting on their phone backstage.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Everybody just tuned into their own device and
Yeah.
nobody really talking
It's
to
a
each
great
other.
show.
That's, yeah,
You can see it
entirely
being
possible.
like high ratings.
Hey, let's not even talk about, I'm sure that there are some libations that are passed around in the dorms at All-American College Band. They are college kids, after all, having a
true.
great time during the summer. So, at any rate, you let us know. Is that a type of show you would want to see? And, hey, Encanto, the projection show coming to It's a Small World. What else would you like to see sort of blasted up on It's a Small World? I think for me, come summertime, especially 4th of July, I would like to see Sam Eagle and the Muppets
my
do some
gosh,
sort
yes.
of 4th of July show on It's a Small World, but that's just me. We want to hear from you and your perspective. Go ahead and leave it in the comments for us. All right, my friends, you stick around. The Disney list is up next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. I adore cereal. I treasure cereal. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I just can't justify eating mounds of sugar in every bowl. I don't need to worry about that with Magic Spoon, because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Time to take a look at the Disney list. This is where we evaluate a list of something from the Disney parks, whether good or bad. This week, it's the 4 biggest challenges when visiting the Disneyland Resort right now. Spring 2022, what are some of the biggest challenges at Disneyland? We are going to share them with you. Wanted to mention that the Orange County Register recently sat down and spoke with Disneyland President Ken Potrock. Ken ended up sharing with everybody that Disneyland Resort is only at the halfway point of reopening in their phased reopening process for the sake of the theme parks and the entirety of the resort coming back online. Still, they have not hired back all of the cast members that they want to hire back. There are still some key experiences that are offline that they wish to bring back. Obviously, we're still waiting to see if magic happens, that parade will ever return, and if we're ever even going to talk about it again. I don't know. But he spoke at length about sort of the things that they still want to do and how they are only at the halfway point right now, even though you are spending top dollar and paying a premium to come into the Disneyland Resort right now. They fully admit they are still in a fully reopening process in an attempt to make that happen. So they are still halfway through it, and they have a little ways to go, halfway as a matter of fact. So we're going to check in with our theme park analyst, Tyler Crouch, who is going to share his list here for the sake of the biggest challenges when visiting the Disneyland Resort right now. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to start with probably the most obvious one, which is just the whole park reservation system in general. Like, I mean, you can, going to Disneyland has changed so much in the past few years. Even before COVID, I feel like they wanted to make a lot of these changes. And so the park reservation system, for those that don't know, you can buy a ticket to Disneyland for any day you want, but you also have to have a reservation. And getting those reservations is not necessarily an easy thing, especially when you are, if you don't really know what you're doing, or you can only go to the park on weekends. That's a really challenging thing of just making sure that you can even go on the day you buy tickets for. I mean, I've seen people joking around on Twitter, like there are like signs literally laid out, and I guarantee you, people show up to Disneyland every day with tickets but don't have a reservation. There's this sign that says, there are no reservations available today. Please see a cast member for details. And I'm just like, oh man, that poor cast member, whoever they are. Like, but it's one of those things where it's tough. It's tough to get into the park for some people on a regular basis, especially if you're paying for like an annual pass or I guess a Magic Key at this point. You're not guaranteed to even get in, the days that you want to get in. So that's something to really keep in mind, and kind of to go hand in hand with that. I'm kind of throwing like a secret fifth one in here. The whole dining reservation thing is also tough. Like because it's compounded with the park reservations. So when you don't know when you can actually go to the park and you get penalized for making these park reservations, if you don't show up, you're going to be penalized. So it's hard to know, like, unless you can just plan your whole entire month out, what day you're going to actually be able to go. And in turn, that makes it hard to get dining reservations because they get just taken very quickly. And if you don't know, like, you're going to be able to go or not, then getting these dining reservations is not easy. And that kind of brings me to my next one, which is, and I talked about it a little bit, but the Magic Key program in general makes it tough to get into the parks. Right now, the 2 top tier passes are sold out. You can't buy them at all. And the bottom tier pass is only for Southern California residents. So it's not an easy thing to try and save money at this point, especially when the pass that you're going to spend, over $650 on isn't going to guarantee you these reservations. It's a tough thing. If you didn't get your dream key, the top of the line pass, then it's hard to feel like your Magic Key is that valuable, I feel like. And that's just something they're really going to have to continue to work on. But that brings me to the third one, which is price. I mean, this is like, the prices are crazy. Like if you think about a one-day thing at a theme park of all things, like let's say you wanted to go today. It's a Saturday today. Mm-hmm. And you wanted to do both parks. You only have one day at Disneyland. You want to do both parks. You want to get a park hopper. That right there is $896 for a family of 4, not including tax.
Wow.
Then let's say you only have the one day, right? So let's all get Genie Plus because we got to do as much as we can. That's another $80 on top of that, which makes it $976 for a family of 4. And then everybody has to go on Rise of the Resistance, right? I mean, Rise of the Resistance is the attraction to do. If you're going to Disneyland and you're not going on Rise of the Resistance with your one Disneyland trip a year, you're wasting your time. So that's another $80 on top of that. I mean, it's
Hope nobody's hungry.
Yeah.
And then you haven't even bought any food yet. Exactly. And
No
then
churros for you.
the kids are going to want some Mickey ears or something, like, or a t-shirt or whatever it may be. I mean, you're looking at spending quite a bit of money just on one day at some
And
theme
that's
parks.
if you get a reservation to get in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
you
then
can buy
to
that ticket all you want. Nobody's claiming you're going to be able to get in on the same day.
Exactly. And then to top it all off, they have their whole tier system now, which is like, I think there's like 5 different tiers, which means there's 5 different prices all throughout the week. And like I said, so today's a Saturday, it's expensive, but you're paying more to get a worse product because it's going to be more crowded.
Right.
So it's just, the least, if you pay less, you're actually getting a better day, but not everybody can afford to take a day off of work or take the kids out of school. So they kind of prey on those people, it's a huge bummer. But then the fourth one here, it's just a lot of things are also closed right now. Like we've been kind of talking about it the past weeks, and we talked about it a little earlier today. There's Pirates of the Caribbean is closed. The Finding Nemo submarines are closed. Toontown is closed. There's no World of Color. There's no Fantasmic. They have like Mickey Mix Magic on the weekends, I believe, right? But it's just like if you are going and spending all this money, just to see that these things are closed. And Tarzan's Treehouse is closed too.
Still.
What the heck is even going on?
Since last September.
So
what is going on in that tree?
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Half of Tomorrowland still closed. I mean, so many of the venues in Tomorrowland are completely shuttered, never brought back, and no real reason, no rhyme or reason as to why.
Did it say Pirates already?
Yeah, he started with Pirates,
Yeah.
It's pretty wild to think that so much remains closed, and things that certainly feel like they're getting back to normal. However, there are lots of walls up. And now you walk through New Orleans Square. If you want to check out our Disneyland update that we did most recently, it feels like the walls are closing in. There are walls everywhere, not just for the sake of eliminating some of the infrastructure that needs to be flattened out around the land, but also now walls have gone up around the platforms for when Fantasmic eventually does come back in a month or two. So there are even more walls than there were in prior weeks. And so you walk into New Orleans Square, and it just feels like you're, I don't know, in an asylum or something. It feels like you can't look around and see any of those sweeping views. You want to go dine, say, Tyler, at French Market or over at Cafe Orleans, your views are completely blocked now.
Oh, no wonder there was reservations available. I was like checking this week just to kind of see what was like available, and I was like, there are a lot of Cafe Orleans reservations available.
That's why.
There we go.
And speaking of dining too, like to top it all off, I'll include I'll slip another one in here. They are like charging either more money or the same prices for smaller portions of food as well.
It's become 100%. A lot more noticeable, huh?
So I mean, like we were talking about
Orleans.
we're talking about Cafe Orleans. Like you used to get two big honking. Now I'm blanking on it. I wanted to say what?
Monte Cristo.
Yeah, Monte Cristo. I wanted to say Croque Madame, which is a completely different kind of sandwich. You can get that at Be Our Guest in the mornings. Anyway, it's just one of those things where you used to get two big giant sandwiches. Now you get one. You get a little bit of French fries on the side. They're keeping their prices very high.
You get like a half a sandwich that's deep fried, because you used to get like a whole sandwich because it was cut in like a triangle, right? And then now you get a half a sandwich with their fries. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem like a good deal, and they charge the same price.
Oh, value.
It's the worst.
Oh, the value.
It's hard. And then especially like with the dining reservations being so hard to come by for a family of 4 that has a park hopper ticket, right? And you choose Disneyland as your first park because you don't know what park you want to go to first, right? And then all of a sudden dining pops up for Lamplight Lounge for brunch or something, and then you're like, oh God, now I have to cancel my reservation and then go back and make a reservation. Who knows if that reservation is going to be available by the time you cancel it and go back in? It's not like an easy switcheroo, so it's so stressful.
It has further managed to complicate what used to be a much more easier to deal with experience overall. And now there are all these complications, and we've heard from the Disney CFO that they planned on reducing the size of portions. Like that was something that came out of her mouth. She thought that would be.
That's why. That's what they say.
It'll help all of our waistlines. She said. So we've heard it from her. We've also heard it from not only Disney Parks Chairman Josh Tomorrow, but also the presidents of Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Reservations are probably never going to go away. They love having this control. They love having this authority. So get used to it, because this is something that I don't think we will ever see the end of. A great list, Tyler, and certainly you bring up the whole idea of how not only is value slipping, but it feels like so little is open when you're spending more for, say, a Saturday for a family of 4. And even though a lot of these things are coming, right, even though we do have on the docket Fantasmic in May, and then you have World of Color, and you've got Disneyland Forever. So the nighttime entertainment is coming back. But I feel like, we said it here recently, if you are planning on visiting the Disneyland Resort anytime soon, maybe wait until that stuff has returned. Because you're still going to pay high prices, but without all of that excess joy that the nighttime entertainment brings.
I feel like there's never been a worse time to go for like spring break, like it's been, I know like schools kind of split it up. I think a lot of schools had it last week and stuff, but it's just like, this has been the worst spring break for Disneyland ever, I feel like.
And the hotel prices, we didn't really mention that, but they are like abusing their power to charge like $400 for Paradise Pier Hotel.
Gotta gouge.
It's not worth it.
Nothing being offered inside that hotel either. We also check on that at our Disneyland update from time to time. And not only table service out of commission, quick service out of commission, bar out of commission, pool out of commission.
Totally worth $400 a night, you guys. I tell you, right? It's just so you can have like the long way to walk around, because you're not allowed to cut through Grand Californian.
Right.
So you have to go all the long way around to go into the park, which is kind of like a bummer. And then it's just, and everything. Like, again, like if you add like a hotel, because the kids really want to stay at Disneyland Hotel, right? That's like $800 a night, six to eight, depending on the type of room, right? That's a lot of money.
Find a hotel on Harbor at this point.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it, at least in my estimation. And good luck with all of the finances racking up very quickly when it comes to wanting to go to Disneyland right now for a more diminished sort of experience. Again, more things are coming online very shortly. However, right now, those are some of the biggest challenges. Anything on your list that we missed? Add it to our list. Add it to Tyler's, that is. Leave it in our comment section. As always, we would love to hear from you. All right, you stick around. More Kingdom Report Live for you next.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
It is time for The One Thing, where we ask one thing of a figure that may revolve around the Walt Disney Company, and this figure that we're going to ask one thing of happens to be the man himself that started it all. No, not Mickey Mouse, but the man behind the mouse. If you had an opportunity to ask Walt Disney, the founder of the Walt Disney Company, if you had an opportunity to ask Walt Disney one question about anything past or present, what would it be? We would absolutely love to hear what is on your list of questions that you would ask Walt Disney. However, we're just looking for one. So if you have one question for Walt, what will it be? Katrina, let's start with you. You have an opportunity to sit down. We unfroze his head for you.
Okay.
We dug him up from his churning in the grave that we hear he does so often, even though he was cremated. And we bring him back to you for one question. What are you going to ask Walt Disney?
Okay. Mr. Walt Disney.
Mr. Walt Disney. Walter Elias.
Walter E. Disney. Are you happy with how the business is being run right now?
What do you think he's going to say?
I'm going to say no, he's not happy.
I'd be interested to hear what he thinks about the business myself. I know that 1955 and even 1966 when he passed. 1955, obviously, when Disneyland first opened. 1966 when Walt Disney passed away. That's something that feels like multiple lifetimes ago, from this era, and everything was so different for him and for his organization, and Disney has become this juggernaut, this mega powerhouse, international media company, biggest media company in the world, and to know all the iterations of Disney over the course of decades and how things have progressed and become so big, I think that's a terrific question to ask him. And maybe, after his head thaws out a little bit and is all done being unfrozen,
I think it would be a while because of brain freeze and stuff, so I think he needs to adjust with what's going on with the times. But
yeah. Give him a week or so.
Yeah, he needs to watch a video and stuff of what's going on in the evolution of what happened in the company for him to be what have I done?
Get all caught up. I should have lived longer. What the hell happened? Yeah. Well, we asked you over at the Kingdom Report YouTube page on the community tab what one question you had for Walt Disney. Here are just some of them. D. McGee says, I would certainly ask what he thinks about the guest experience being sacrificed for the sake of profit. Steven says, did you ever think it was going to be this big of a company? I like that question because no doubt Walt probably had very big dreams, very big ideas as to what he wanted his company to become. But did he ever possibly imagine it was going to become what it is now? 1-6 says, no questions. I would just like to say thank you. Maybe take a walk down Main Street with him and share how much of a success Disney World turned out to be, especially Epcot. Oh, and tell him how much of a success Disney World turned out to be, especially Epcot. Okay, please fire Bob Chapek. will you please? Well, they say paycheck. Okay, please fire Bob Paycheck. Cody says, what's your favorite kind of pizza, Walt? That would be his one question. Scary says, how do we get today's parks back on course to realign with your original vision? I like that. Certainly, Walt had a very particular vision for his parks, and I often wonder what it would have been like had Walt been able to open and be a part of Walt Disney World and the Magic Kingdom. Had he been there, say the first year or two of operation, how different would Walt Disney World be even today just by having his presence there? Obviously, we felt the presence of his brother Roy, who wanted to retire when Walt passed away, however, stayed on to see through the Walt Disney World project to make sure Magic Kingdom got opened up, and then he retired and then subsequently passed away. So Tyler, you have a shot at asking the churning in his grave man one question, past or present. What are you going to throw out the guy?
I thought about this one a lot. There's so many questions that, of course, everybody would want to ask him, and there's a lot of obvious things like, I don't know, how do you feel about Bob Chapek and things like that. But I'm really curious how he would feel about the way that Epcot came to be. I think that'd be a really interesting thing to talk to him about, because obviously everybody knows that experimental prototype City of Tomorrow is what that stands for. All of us know that, right? And it was originally supposed to be an actual city where there was going to be people working there, and it, kind of like Golden Oaks, I guess, but probably more affordable, I suppose. But it just seemed like it was a really out there idea for some guy that wanted to build some theme parks, and made some cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really curious to know how he would think of how Epcot has come along. Also, I would like to know, this is kind of just a throwaway question, I guess, but does the chili at Carnation Cafe actually taste like the chili that he used to love so much?
Walt's chili at Carnation Cafe?
Or is it, or are we just saying Walt's chili and just like, is that really the recipe he used to snack on? Did you used to get down on that chili, Walt? I really need to know.
There would be no beef in Walt's chili because that was too expensive. Back in the day, it would just be probably beans.
No, I think that's all Walt Disney ever ate. He ate cigarettes and
ate
beef.
cigarettes?
Yeah.
Oh, ugh.
It's airbrushed in almost every photo of him at the park. That's the reason for the real two-finger point, is because most of the time there was a cigarette in there. Yeah. So they airbrush it out of most of the images.
I always love seeing the one at Steakhouse 55 when you walk in, because you just like...
Yeah. Yeah, why is he standing there like this? That's weird, huh? Yeah.
So random. Anyway.
Brushed out. And I'll tell you, from my perspective, I've always wanted to, because I've thought about this too, like, oh boy, if I ever had an opportunity to talk to the guy, what would I ask him? And there are, continued sort of reports over the years from people that were close to Walt and from people that heard from individuals who were able to drop in by his bedside as he was passing away, that he sort of just kept trying to spew out all these different things that he wanted to have happen. And he was talking to Roy and sharing all these things that he wanted to make sure Roy understood, because he knew his time was running out very shortly. And with that in mind, I've always wanted to ask him the question, if you had one more year, what do you think you would have accomplished? Because he had so many irons in the fire at that time. He had so much happening. He had just laid out Epcot. He had just laid out the whole concept. He had just pitched it all. He had just gotten everything approved. He had just pushed this entire concept through, knowing his time was running out and definitely feeling that presence of tick-tock, tick-tock. If he knew he had 1 year extra, what would he have accomplished? What would he have sort of hammered out and made happen? Because I think if he had one more year, boy.
There'd be a big difference.
Boy,
no
imagine what Walt Disney World would have been like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because Magic Kingdom is completely the corporate version of Disneyland. Like, that's exactly what it is. And, you can tell that, unfortunately, Roy Disney did a great job overall, but you can tell that the heart was kind of taken out of Disney World, at least the beginnings of Disney World,
Even though they call it Walt Disney World, you still feel the heart of Walt at Disneyland,
Right.
which is why I think so many people have an affinity for Disneyland over Disney World, because you feel Walt there still. You know, you feel that he walked through this place, you feel his charm, you feel his heart in a location that he did spend 10 years in before he passed away. Whereas a place like Disney World, he may have walked through the swamplands, you know, he may have walked through some of that space originally, but he never got to see anything completed by the time it opened up. So, yeah, good one. We also turn it back over to you over at our community page on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. Here's what you said. Jackie says, well, I know not to ask about guest satisfaction because he was actually all about that. I would instead ask about how he feels with the social changes and how Epcot was never realized. Sort of what you said there, Tyler. Margaret says, Walt, I know you love innovation. How would you like to take a trip to outer space on the Bezos rocket? Would you go?
Oh, he would definitely
yeah,
go.
he
He
would
would
have
100% go.
I bet he would have had a rocket had he been able to live
He
on.
would have made his own.
Yeah. He
would've
would have
found a
been
way.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you know what I'm saying. He would have beaten Jeff Bezos to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
He would have cut him off at the pass, found a
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Walt was so engaged in the concept of space and flight and
Transportation in general.
loved it,
Yeah.
you know, and had so many attractions dedicated to it and everything. And no doubt, I think you're right. He would have probably beat anybody, any corporate giant, any mega executive
If
to doing it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Tomorrowland is basically all about transportation. Like every single piece of it is about some type of how transportation could be better someday. That was all he thought about, that guy. And I think that was like one of his favorite lands, like in general. You know? So.
And look at it now.
Yeah. Ugh. That's why Tomorrowland is so heartbreaking, because of what it was supposed to be and what it is now. But anyway.
Ouch. Well, we move along. Juan says, I would ask something about the present. Why has the company become full of greed and given up on the Disney dream feeling it once had?
Yes,
the
Juan.
dream/feeling it once had. I don't disagree, Juan. I do not disagree at all. I feel like that's a great question to be asking. Brian says, what gave you the courage to head west with nothing but an idea and a simple cartoon mouse? You want to talk about a suitcase and a dream. They have that Newsies type show at California Adventure for the first couple of years after relaunch. And I've often wondered that myself. You know, you really bank everything on going out west and, you know, your life's going to change, and you had basically nothing at that point, and look at what you made out of it. You know, what really pushed you over the edge to go, this is what I need to do right now.
Chili.
Chili.
That's what helped him.
West Coast chili apparently made all the difference to him.
Beefy.
That'll get me out there. Yeah. Pookie says, I would ask, what are you most disappointed with? Ooh, I wonder how long that list might be. Parker says, what is best about yourself? I like that. I bet Walt is quite a tough critic on himself. I would imagine he probably would have a very hard time with that.
He seems like the kind of man that would just want to continue improving all the time. Like, that seems like, and he wanted to push his team to keep improving all the time. Like, that was what he dreamed about, you know. He wasn't about the money so much, it seemed like. And I feel like Roy, I mean, that guy had a hell of a job just trying to reel that guy in for sure, you know.
Navigate the waters logistically and financially.
Yeah.
That's right. And finally, Abby says, will you please haunt Chapek? What a
Abby.
question. Oh, Abby. And we want to thank you all for submitting your questions again over at the Kingdom Report YouTube community page. As always, we have polls up there consistently. We also have questions just like this. So if you want to contribute to future segments, you can do so there. And if you'd like to add your question, your one question for Walt Disney, we encourage you to do it in our comments section so we can hear from you. We appreciate that. All right, my friends, this about wraps things up for this edition of Kingdom Report Live. As always, we want to reward you for being a part of the big show. All you got to do to win yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug is leave the phrase that pays in the comment section underneath this very video on our YouTube channel. As soon as the live video is over, leave the comment underneath the video with the phrase that pays, and that is the code word living with the land. Living with the land is the phrase that pays this week. You will will be submitted to win your very own Kingdom Report mug. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you Monday morning after 8 a.m. Pacific time. That is the time in which you have to leave that comment and let you know that you are the big winner. We'll ask you for some details and get you a mug ASAP. And I want to thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. As always, it means an awful lot to us. Programming note, we will not be back next week, Easter weekend. We will be enjoying Easter festivities and hunting for eggs on our own. However, we will be back the following Saturday. So no Kingdom Report live next weekend. However, the following Saturday, we will return and look forward to seeing you then. Remember, the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me. And we'll see you 2 Saturdays from today, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for an all-new Kingdom Report Live.